8 minutes past 8. Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Welcome tuning on our initial focus, which happens to be this Osun School Reclassification or classification matter, as you may call it. We're joined now by Dr. Ayodele Owoade, who is the Deputy Chairman of Osun Schools Reclassification Committee. He's also the Chairman of Osun Special Committee on Discipline in Osun Public Schools. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
And firstly, why does Osun State have to have this special committee on discipline in public schools?
Well, thank you. We reorganized schools, which stand reclassification, and consequent upon that, certain trend in behavior by pupils came up. And when we studied what was happening, the governor decided that there's need to take immediate action, because we noticed that pupils were getting very unruly, sometimes violent. Even
after the reclassification.
Well, apparently, what happened when it was this behavior trend had been there, but kind of hidden, and because of the reclassification, students who had behaved in a particular way unnoticed earlier, in their new schools, discipline was being enforced and they're trying to resist. So the government set up the committee to look into detail what was responsible for this kind of behavior. The committee has completed its work and submitted it. The report will go to Mr. Governor very soon, and then there will be further action how to entrench discipline in the schools.
And that's purely about discipline in the schools?
That's purely about discipline in the schools.
Okay, tell us then, what is going on with this? You just left Reverend Onifade talking about the controversy in the schools.
It's unfortunate. I think we're using a normal term, if you permit me to say there. Your subheading, introducing the program says Osun Schools Crisis. If you permit me, I'll just go through some statistics, and then we can decide whether there's really a crisis or not. We have 1,925 schools in Osun State, both primary, elementary, middle, and high school. Even when you ask Dr. Nifade, I was listening to him, he struggled to mention three schools. He struggled. He said Oshodo, Iwo, Ejido, out of 1,925. I don't know if that constitutes a crisis. Even if we narrow it down to high schools, we have 108 high schools, understand? And it's mentioned 3 out of 108. So, things happened, and the reclassification came with some challenges, which we have dealt with effectively. The direct stakeholders affected, students and parents, they've settled, they've gone around the schools in the state, post reclassification, and the students have settled. But obviously, what we are seeing, what is being called a crisis, goes beyond comprehension. Because
are you suggesting that those who are dissenting don't matter?
They do matter. But again, government policy. When the reclassification was to be implemented, so many stakeholders were involved.
But government policy may be government policy, but government policy is not cast in stone. Government policy is meant for the people. The power belongs to the people. The people don't want the policy. The government should not implement the policy.
You are right, but if you just use the right word, if the people don't want the policy, so 3 schools out of 1,925 means the people.
So they don't matter.
They don't matter, but what I'm saying is it's a question of balance of scale. We're dealing with quite a large number of schools here. So if there are challenges in 1 or 2, I don't see that as crisis. The challenges are being addressed.
What was it like reclassification? Tell us, for those who don't know what this reclassification is all about.
Yeah, okay. The school system in the state used to be primary, junior secondary, and senior secondary. When the present administration came in, a tour of the schools was undertaken, and the tour revealed serious rot in the system in terms of teachers' morale, in terms of students' performance, in terms of quite a lot of things related to the school sector was low. And a summit was held in February 2011, and the summit came up with a number of recommendations how to tackle the issues. The recommendations of the summit have been implemented in phases, one after the other. We started feeding the pupils because the summit noted that pupils, undernourished pupils, don't do well, because if the brain and body is not properly nourished, it affects educational achievement. So we started implementing the recommendation of the summit. Up till now, the reclassification was implemented in October last year, and that's kind of the top of the issue. And why did we go down that road? We discovered that in the state we had so many suboptimal schools. You have schools without enough teachers with pupils. You have schools with pupils. You have schools with teachers and not pupils, and so many systemic imbalance in the system was noticed. And we said, well, to rectify this, we need to do something. And part of the reason for reclassification is just to aggregate resources.
Did that committee recommend reclassification?
They recommended quite a number of things. Obviously, they also recommended that the management and the school system had to be looked into. They didn't use the word reclassification per se, but I mean that was left to government to interpret the recommendations. Part of the ways in which government is addressing the issues raised is to regroup schools. So we came up with elementary school where we have grades 1 to 4, so that pupils from age 6 to 9 will be. And again, if you worldwide, the trend worldwide is to have age band, groups in schools. If you have 1 to 4, their needs, their educational requirements will be much the same than if you had the previous range up to primary 6. So we moved 5 and 6 to join with the SYGSS to form the new school type middle school. And then we have the former SS Senior Secondary School as our high school. And each of these school types are now housed on different premises. Government has built a number of high schools, quite a few are under construction, and elementary schools, and so on. So what we do is just to address the challenges which we faced, when we came on to really revamp education.
Well, you talked about some things being thrown up. I mean, you had to hold reconciliation meeting between parents, teachers. There are all sorts of doubt, fears, and anxieties. There are things that are being reported in the media. Some teachers were harassed. You also had unruly behavior, which you said could have been there but was unnoticed. Would you say that with this policy, you've stirred the government of Osun State stirred the hornet's nest?
No, I wouldn't agree to that. This behavior, have been there even before reclassification, and it's a good thing that reclassification has got them up, because students, the whole essence of school is to go through education and perform at the end of it in your exams. If due to unruly behavior or indiscipline, students are underperforming, it's a good thing that it's come up now so that we can tackle it head on, and that's what the government is doing.